Hey everyone, Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. Today I will show you a popular dish from Goa which made its way to India along with the Portuguese explorers. So let's see how to make the meatless version of Vindaloo, where vin is wine vinegar and alhos is garlic. Okay guys, so originally this recipe was made with pork, but as I said, today we will be using paneer, and my vegan friends, you can happily use tofu instead. Though I am cutting the paneer in this way, it doesn't mean that you have to do the same. Just remember not to cut them too thin. Next comes the chillies. This recipe calls for a lot of dried red chillies. I prefer using Kashmiri red chillies as they are milder in terms of heat level, and I have taken just 2 of them. But those of you who like spicy food, you can go up to 4 or maybe more. I like de-seeding the chilies as all the heat lies in those seeds. Then soak them in boiling hot water for about an hour. Then comes the exciting part of the recipe, that is the Vindaloo Masala. Blend a jar out and then all the aromatics and spices go in one after the other. This recipe calls for a lot of garlic. And then ginger, coriander seeds, then cumin seeds, black peppercorns. Next comes mustard seeds. I used white ones, but you can even use black mustard seeds. Then the warm spices, green cardamoms, cinnamon stick and cloves. And finally, these are fenugreek seeds, which are also known as methi. These are optional, but if you plan to use them, then add just a few seeds as they have a bitter taste, but they give a beautiful flavor to the dish, and a little goes a long way. Then since I am using less chilies, I like to add paprika to get that color. And finally, the dried red chilies that have now turned plump after all that hot water treatment. Now blitz. We want a smooth paste, so next goes the tomatoes. And finally, vinegar. Though I am using apple cider vinegar, you can use any type of vinegar of your preference. Now blend again to a smooth paste. And our very aromatic smooth Vindaloo Masala is all done to spice up the dish. Pan on medium-high heat. Oil goes in. Once the oil turns warm, add sliced onions. And please note that I said the oil needs to be warm and not hot. A sprinkle of salt. I used 1 large onion. To start with, stir the onions on medium-high heat. Spread them out like this for a few seconds and then again stir. As soon as you see them developing a little bit of color along the edges, then lower the heat to medium-low and stir them frequently till they develop a golden color. And guys, as I always tell you, frying onions needs a lot of patience. If you rush this process by increasing the heat of your stove, then the onions will give a deceptive brown appearance, but they will never melt in your curry, and your gravy won't look smooth, but a watery mess with all those onions staring at you. Okay, enough of onion talk. This is how your onions must look. You do not need to brown them up too much, but they have turned soft and they are looking gorgeous, just how I want them to look. And this took me about 12 minutes. Now it's time for the gorgeous Vindaloo Masala to dive in. I added a little bit of turmeric powder, and I prefer adding it now so that it doesn't stain my blender jar. But if you have a steel blender jar, then add the turmeric powder along with the other spices. Stir the masala on low heat for a few minutes. I rinsed out my blender jar with about half a cup of water to get all that masala. So that goes in. Add salt. Now cover the pan on medium-low heat for about 5 to 6 minutes. After that, uncover. See how the oil is floating on top? That is exactly what we are looking for. And this means it is time for the paneer to enter the scene. Add a sprinkle of salt to season the paneer, and then sugar to balance the acidity from that vinegar and tomatoes. I again added half a cup of hot water. Once the gravy comes up to a boil, cover the pan on low heat for about 12 minutes. In between, uncover and give a stir. I like to taste the curry at this point. I felt it needed more sweetness and some more salt, and I think it needs more heat, so I added some Kashmiri red chili powder. This is what I try explaining regarding chili powder. That is, you can always add later, but once added, you cannot take out the heat. So be stingy to start with and add later if required. Okay, 12 minutes done and we should be about ready. Lift off and immediately you are greeted with this beauty, both visually and with that waft of aroma as if you are in some kind of spice land. And the paneer, after soaking up all that gravy goodness, tastes so delicious that it is so hard to describe. Please smash that like button if you've enjoyed watching this video, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.